Smart kids. What a wonderful thing. When I was growing up, I was called a lazy kid, a kid not living up to his potential, a dumb kid. As a matter of fact, my parents, they thought if I sat at my desk long enough, I was going to get it. So this is what I learned. No matter how you learn, no matter at what rate you learn, you have greatness in you. Smart kids. I love that. I really do.
As a trial attorney, I find my ADHD is a huge asset.
I've seen kids really flourish, and I've seen families really celebrate these differences in their children.
My advice for a parent of a kid with an LD is to just don't make a big deal of it.
I started out as a parent of a child with a disability.
I had him at a wonderful preschool. They called me in and said, we're not quite equipped to deal with your son. I was like, really? What has he been doing for 6 months here?
And my advice to parents is to not give up on your kids.
My teacher was someone who had no understanding of what my learning needs were and made it about a character issue that I just wasn't trying.
They didn't call it ADD back then. They called it BAD. There were good kids and bad kids.
I knew what it was like to grow up as a relatively capable person who wasn't always able to demonstrate what I was capable of.
I joined the executive board for our special education PTA.
Now, I have friends who have LDs, and their parents were just kind of like, oh my God, you have an LD.
I was finally diagnosed when I was in 7th grade and I had a 2nd grade reading level.
Got back a report 10 days before Ben's 10th birthday, which said he is a classic dyslexic. He's bright. He does not know how to read, which I did not know. His teachers did not know.
I got more involved in the school system and the Board of Education.
I felt like it's just me against the school.
I felt isolated.
I felt really dumb.
I felt like I was smarter than my report card said.
When your kid's struggling so much, you just can't even begin to understand what their future's going to be like.
I have dyslexia, dysgraphia, ADHD, CAPD, and visual disturbances. I know it's a mouthful, but it simply means I process things differently than others.
We absolutely know that the science exists for us to be able to treat this successfully.
I eventually ran for Board of Education.
I started Smart Kids because it took me about 3.5 years to find out what was wrong.
They have become this repository of just huge amounts of information.
Smart Kids every year has a parent conference. We bring together a lot of the experts that we deal with.
Countdown to Kindergarten is primarily a school readiness program for 4-year-olds, and we are targeting underserved children because that's where there are a lot of educational inequities.
We started with a print newsletter back in 2000. In a few months, we had newsletter subscribers in, I think, 39 states and several countries abroad.
Seeing people when their eyes are open to all of the wealth of information that exists and the wealth of support that exists, as well as the relief that they get when they know that there are other people who have been through this. That to me is the most exciting part of Smart Kids, is it can open that door.
I am going to Indiana Wesleyan University in the fall and planning to major in computer engineering and also bowling on their men's team.
Getting a U.S. Senate internship with Richard Blumenthal.
Pursuing a career in STEM is a natural extension of who I am.
My daughter will be graduating in June. We're very proud of her.
Today, he is an architect at the biggest firm in the country.
You'll often hear people say, you should learn to think outside the box. We live outside the box, and that really is the center of my power.
Frankly, I tried to destroy the box.